Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And we have a new real breakup story that came in today, and I'm going to unpack it today. So, saving yourself for marriage, real story. Long distance relationships in college, topic that's been touched on. Maybe we'll go a little deeper on this live stream. And if you have a breakup story you're going through right now, send it into writemac.com, WRITEMAC.com, and you can get my take. Pioneer Caddy, your story's on deck also. You put it in the Discord. Just a heads up, I'll probably touch on it at some point in the Discord, but the people that pay on writemac.com go to the head of the line. So, but Pioneer Caddy, I think I referenced your story, and if we can get to it later on from the Discord, I'll touch on that. I'm doing well though, and I know your situation is tough. You had three. This is how good my memory is, Pioneer Caddy. You had 3 kids involved, ex-wife. I'm thinking 14 years you were together. That's what's coming into my mind. She left for her ex in the past, and right now it seems to be like she thinks the grass is greener. You're kind of going through it right now. You had to move out of the house. You had to move out of the house and be the bigger person, which I commended you for. Like I said, maybe I'll get to your story in a little bit. Let me get to this one first. Definitely a different situation than yours, Pioneer Caddy. Saving yourself for marriage, real story. This guy's in college. And, I assume for religious reasons he's saving himself. And some people might look at this and go, ha, ha, ha. But you know what? Everyone's a little bit different. Everyone has a different background. Everyone's raised different. And there's some people out there that want their first time to be really, really special. And so, you know what? Good for you. I hope it works out. But all paths lead to now. And in 10 years from now, 15 years from now, your first is probably not going to be your last. Just a judgment call on my end. Maybe I'm going out on a limb here. If we had Vegas odds and every individual that was in college goes, oh, I'm gonna wait out for a special moment for my first love to lose my virginity, and it's gonna be rose petals and wine glasses. The reality is, it's probably not gonna be the last person you're ever with. I wonder if we did like a poll in the world, which would it be possible to do a poll in the world? I don't know. That would be accurate. This is what always gets me about data and studies. Well, studies show, research shows, and it's kind of like, what, like 1,000 people or 2,000 people did a study? And were those people accurate? Were they honest? Especially about relationships. Like, let's say you did a study on cheating. Like, if you did a study on cheating, Danny, do you think that Danny's on deck today because Alep's out? Danny, do you think if you did a study on cheating, first of all, cheating involves lying, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and let's just say like cheating, beyond just cheating in relationships, like me being a teacher, cheating in class, right? It takes someone going, I'm going to break the rules. Mm-hmm. I know there's a rule, I'm cheating.
Yeah.
So you go and do a study on cheating, and you ask people, did you cheat? Are they more likely to lie because they've already lied?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, in the study, they're not going to go, oh yeah, they're probably going to be worried. So like when people do studies and stuff, I'm like, how much honesty is there involved in relationships? If some random stranger was asking them questions, how do you know these studies and these data are accurate sometimes? So this individual, I haven't read the whole story, but it came in, like I said, it came in a couple of days ago, but I just think it's an interesting topic overall of someone going, I want it to be really special. Now, I've had clients in the past that, their first serious girlfriend who they were madly in love with, and it was a fantastic experience. I'm thinking of one individual that I did quite a bit of live coaching with, and he was 20, and his first girlfriend, they were just, everything was great. And he had made a bunch of money at a young age, like in the stock market or Bitcoin, one of these things. So like right when they were together, he was living high on the hog. He had like a Range Rover, everything was right. Everything was right. He was pretty cocky. And he said that he said that during his breakup, he kept coming back to their first time because it was so wonderful. And he described it. I'm like, it's all right. I mean, you don't have to give me the details. He's like, no, it was this, it was that. It was like, and he kept coming back to that because it was really, really outstanding and special for him. And so not everyone has that, by the way. There's a lot of people the first time it's just like riding a bike or doing something you haven't done many times. It's probably not good. It's not as good as you think it was. Certainly not as long as you think it would be. And there's probably going to be some awkwardness or uncomfortableness for someone's first time. So let's get into this story. Now we got 7 on deck. Rob, always welcome. Pioneer Caddy, who's in the Discord, welcome. And we'll go from there. Let's get into it here. This should be a dandy. Hey, Coach Mac, I just came from one of your videos about cheating, and I wanted to tell you my story to see what you thought. I fucked up big time. So first and foremost, don't ever frame your breakup that way. Okay? I think most of the time, this is why it's good to write out your story. You didn't fuck up. There's some kind of other part of it. You made a mistake. You made a miscalculation. You did something you didn't know about. Or a lot of times it's ignorance. Ignorance means you don't know what you don't know. And there are times when people do stuff, and I talk to them in life coach, I'm like, yeah, that was the wrong move. One of the biggest ones is begging and pleading when someone breaks up with you for reasonable reasons. If someone goes, look, it's not you, it's me. I'm just not in love with you anymore, and I want to see what it's like to be single because I'm in college still. Guys go nuts over that one. It's actually the woman's being honest. She's saying, you know what? You're not the last person I'll ever be with. And then they beg and plead and text them and do all this stuff. That's one of those things where you are fucking up the situation. But here's the crazy part. That's the only way you're going to learn. It's a fuck up. So actually it's a lesson. It's wisdom based, and it's the equivalent of when you're a little kid, how do you know to not touch the kettle on the stove? Because you get burned. What's the best way to learn, Danny? What do you think? To fail first?
Yeah.
I mean, seriously. I mean, if you think about like riding a bike or any of those things, no one rides a bike right off the bat.
Yeah.
No one does. And over here in Thailand, we have motorbikes and stuff like that. No one just gets on the bike and is like, the amount of foreigners that come over here and ride a bike for the first time. I've ridden a bike before. I've ridden a motorcycle before, and they get on it and you're like, whoa. Like, you also don't understand the traffic. So it's the same thing when you're early in your life on relationships with boyfriends and girlfriends. And so people are so hard on themselves, like they somehow should have known this, when their only education about relationships was their parents, maybe their grandparents, and TV. So they get into a relationship and they're like, everything should just be, peaches and cream. And that's just not the reality. There's a lot of twists and turns that you've never seen before in a movie. So I fucked up big time. So we're going to have to reframe that at some point. I've been dating this girl named, I don't mention names, for only 4 months. But the love I have for her is stronger than any other love I've ever had. Well, I mean, if you're still in college and you're fairly young and this is your first serious girlfriend, of course it is. You have nothing to measure it against. But I'll believe you on that. No problem. Good for you. But a couple months ago, we came home from winter break from college and we weren't going to see each other for a month. So here's the thing. Long distance relationships are already difficult. Long distance relationships in college, I think they're more difficult because college is a hotbed to meet someone else. No pun intended. I mean, everyone's your age, right? If you get, let's say you're 22 and you go, I'm not going to college. I don't need it. Good for you. A lot of people say, I don't need college to waste the money. I'm fine with that. Go out and hustle, get some experience. You could still be successful. Absolutely. College is actually fun. It's a place to meet people your age and not have to grow up so fast, to be quite frank. It should be a fun time in your life. Hence the reason why there's a lot of rich kids that go nuts in college and just have fun, right? For me, college, I had fun, but I never had that fraternity, sorority experience. Never did that thing. Always had a part-time job. appreciated learning something while I was working at the same time. Met some women along the way, but it wasn't the experience you see on TV with American universities where, you have frat houses and all that other stuff. I've had friends that have done that. And guess what? Those are the friends that their parents were able to fund their whole stay, which is totally fine. Depending on what university you go to, this is what's really interesting about university and college. There's specialties in different schools. There's some schools that are quote unquote party schools. There's some schools that are quote unquote, this is a great school for science. I just had a client recently that went to some school in Iowa, and I'm like, how'd you end up in Iowa? Right? And he's like, well, it has the best top 10 pharmaceutical program. And he's like, I want to be a pharmacist. Great way to choose a university. Go to the best school for what you want to major in. So what I'm saying is, regardless of how good things are, if you separate, you're in your early 20s, your hormones are, dare I say, at the highest level. A female's looking her best in her early 20s in most cases. Most men were probably looking their best in their early 20s, I would hope. And then you separate for a month, 2 months, whatever it is, there's going to be temptation. I'll just say that. So we see each other for a month. We weren't going to see each other for a month. Now we were both trying to save ourselves for marriage. Admiral, good for you. I can't relate to that, but I commend you if that's your values. He says, I'm not a virgin, but I don't want to have sex again. Okay. Must have been a bad experience. And because of this, it had already been months since. I've gotten off. Not being with her every day was really hard, but at first we were working through it great. Okay. Then one night I was feeling excited. He used a different word, and wanted to pleasure myself. So I did. Boo-hoo. Okay, don't feel guilty. You're in your early 20s. You're in college. If you pleasure yourself and take care of business on your own. There's no shame in that. I don't know why you'd be saving that. I know there's a lot of things on the internet of no fap and different things like that. But if it's been months, I've actually had a client that told me that he went celibate for 5 years, no sex, in his 30s, and he said, I might have him on to talk about it because it's pretty interesting. He had a bad breakup, and he said he had a daughter, and he didn't want to put up with hurting his daughter's feelings again by bringing another woman in his life, so he said he just went celibate. And he said he had wet dreams at 30 years old because that stuff has to go somewhere. Kind of interesting. So first and foremost, I wouldn't feel bad that you had to do that. Go for it. While I was pleasuring myself, I downloaded Tinder just to swipe through. I know that's so bad. And this girl Snapchatted me and started to ask intimate questions since I was excited. I responded. This went on for about 30 minutes, and then I stopped myself because I realized how I was fucking up. You're not fucking up. You're in your early 20s. You're excited. You haven't had intimacy in a long time. This is natural. You're not a fuck up. You wanted to save yourself for this individual. Unfortunately, nature stepped in and went, hey, knocking. Hey, we have seed in here. We want to get this seed out. So stop saying you fucked up. Can anyone give this guy a break on the live stream? This isn't a fuck up, okay? If you need to take care of things in the bathroom or your bedroom on your own, that's actually one of the safest things you can do, right? Now, she doesn't know this, but this happened a few times with a few girls, but every time I would stop and never did anything physical. Well, I mean, if you didn't hook up with someone else, I don't see it as a big problem. I kept the Tinder for about a week, and then we got to the point where I was going to see this woman, or your current girlfriend at the time. She came down to for my sister's wedding in December. I tried so hard to push what I had done down and forget about it, and it worked. I just don't think you should feel that guilty for what you did. No harm done here. You're being really hard on yourself. And there's a lot of women out there that would think this was kind of comical, and you might be surprised if you told your girlfriend that she might be more understanding than you think. Following this was Christmas, and she went home, but at New Year's, I went up to visit her. She is from, okay, do you want me to say where she's from? She's from New York, and I'm from Maryland. The week I spent there was so good, and I feel even more in love with her. At that point, completely forgetting what I had done. I just don't think what you had done is that bad. You didn't physically cheat with another woman. Okay? Give yourself a break here. Then I came home, and just after a few days, I was horny again and texted the first girl. I don't know why I did. Well, I know why you did. It's called human nature. It's called testosterone, right? Hormones. And you're young. I don't know why I did, but I never got a response. This was great for me. But then just a couple of days ago, I get a text from the girl asking if I have a girlfriend. I freaked out and instantly blocked her on everything. Again, you haven't physically met the girl. So they call this emotional cheating. This also could be considered, I guess if you're thinking it's like phone sex or texting sex or sexting.
I think it's called sexting, yeah.
Okay, Danny knows. Okay. Someone else has mentioned that to me before. I'm sorry. That shows how old I am. It's never been my thing. I don't know why I did, but I did, and I never got a response. That was great for me, but then just for a couple of days, I get a text from a girl asking if I freaked out and instantly blocked her on everything. She found my girlfriend's Instagram and sent her screenshots of our brief conversations. Oh my goodness. And of my Tinder profile. I don't know what to do. Well, tell the truth at this point. It'll set you free. I really am so in love with her, and I see her as a girl I'm going to marry. If you see her as a girl you're going to marry, you could get through this. I mean, this is one of those situations. Be honest. Be upfront. The problem is the distance. The problem is you're attempting to neglect your needs in the name of love and marriage, but at the same time, your body's just going, hey, I don't like this, man. Let me out of here. And a lot of guys won't even attempt what you're attempting to do. The answer to this all is to move closer to each other. If that can't be done, this problem's going to continue. You've done it more than once. I really am so in love, and I see her as a girl I'm going to marry. Again, I'm not sure how old you are, but you're in college, so I'm assuming you're early 20s. It sounds really sweet and good, but you've only been together 4 months. Just pump the brakes a bit. Pump the brakes a little bit, please. I know that I rushed into the relationship with her because I didn't want to lose her. That's a horrible place to be in as a man in a relationship. And by the way, again, not to hammer this home, to be in long distance in college, not a good position to be in. This is why this happened. This isn't because you fucked up. It's the circumstances. And you've created a guilt web about something you're not even sure if she's accepting of. She might say it's okay. She certainly wouldn't want to find out from another woman. But I'm sure there's women out there that would go, it's okay. You can text other women if we're going to be apart. All of them? No. But what's the alternative? For you to feel guilty when you're pleasuring yourself on your own in your own room? Right? Okay, so he said, I didn't want to lose her at the start. That might not have been the key part in me not being prepared for a new relationship. I had just broken up with in March and we started dating in September. I know that what I did was wrong and that me wanting forgiveness is selfish. No, it's not. Forgiveness is not self. Be genuine. Lead with good intentions and the truth. And then let the cards fly where they may. Asking for forgiveness is not selfish. It's the ideal place you want to be in. If you're being accountable, you did something wrong. You did something you're not proud of. The worst part about it is the girl confronted her. Now she's embarrassed. Is there any way I can show her that I'm serious about changing myself? Well, first and foremost, I would lead with being dead honest in the future. Number 2, tell her that you were horny. Tell her that it's hard to be away from her. Tell her the truth. I lied to her when she asked me about it. Okay, well, the thing about lies, we've all lied before in our lives, especially the younger you are, the more it seems easy to do. I think the older and older people get, the more they go, fuck it, I don't care what someone thinks. Hence, you meet grandma and grandpa and they don't give a fuck. You know, my grandfather, when he's in his 70s, he'll say something, I'll be like, Grandpa, Papa. And he's like, what? They just don't give a fuck anymore. They'll just tell you exactly what they think. When you're younger, it's like, oh, what's someone going to think about me? Be honest. Tell her the exact truth of what you told me in this story. I guarantee she's probably not happy they were talking to someone on Tinder, but she probably would say, if you got to pleasure yourself, go ahead and do it. I don't think she'd be upset about that. Does she want you to save it all up for her? I lied to her when she asked me about it. I felt trapped, and I've always impulsively lied when I feel trapped. Okay, that's the problem. Now we've gotten somewhere. This isn't a fuck up. This is a playbook. I've always impulsively lied when I feel trapped. That's what we need to work on with you as an individual. If you want to do a live coaching, I can help you with that. When did that start? When did you first start lying impulsively when you feel trapped? Because this is going to happen again and again, and it creates a lot of guilt. And you're saying you've done this more than once in different occasions. But I know this isn't who I am. I know that I can be better than this, and I want a chance to show her that. I want to help her fix the heart I know I broke so badly. Just tell her the truth and let the cards fly where they are. Tell her the exact truth. And tell her why you did it. Because even if you lie, it might not work. So why carry the guilt? If there's anything I can do, please let me know. Truth, 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 truth. What happens when you start to lie the way you're doing it, you got to lie again, and you got to lie again, and you got to lie again. So it's like a 7-layer cake of lies, right? I would have to bet if you told her the truth that she could deal with it because you didn't actually hook up in person with the woman. Secondly, this might sound a little twisted, but the fact that you have another woman interested in you gives you value. I'm not telling you to create a situation like this, but it actually looks better than you think. It's not all bad. Thirdly, the idea that you were horny and you needed to do something about it, I think she could understand that. 4, you're long distance. That's a whole nother problem. 5, don't be afraid after 4 months. If she goes, this isn't good enough, your sorry's not good enough, say sorry once, mean it, explain yourself, and then leave it alone. And if she's ever going to come back, it won't be right away, but she'll have respect for the truth. She'll be able to trust you more, and she'll gain respect for you. And if the relationship was going to be a marriage, then she'll probably come back. If it wasn't, then this is kind of one of those things to me that if she was really into you, I don't know if this is grounds to just break up. I think you could work through this personally, but it's going to take her digesting it, processing it, and like I said, this is the best advice. Say sorry, sincerely apologize, and then leave it alone. Don't continue to apologize. Don't overcompensate. Don't be overly nice. You might have to walk away after you apologize. All right, folks, I'm going to get into the live stream now. We're 23 minutes in. Pioneer Caddy, 10 years, still married, left me for her ex, 3 kids. Okay, I got that correct. Sometimes we just want to explore what's out there, and if it's not worth it, you're not human if you don't make mistakes. Things happen. Thanks, Pioneer Caddy. I agree with you, bud. 4 months, you really don't know someone completely with that time frame. Rob, I agree. I don't know if you know someone within a year, to be honest. Here's the thing about relationships. I know I go on about this all the time, but I just had a story recently that was a private video response. The guy had been dating for a year, but they only saw each other 2 days a week, and they lived 2 hours apart. So, and he was talking about marriage. I'm like, you haven't even lived together yet. You haven't even seen each other 4 or 5 days a week. Totally different ball game. Totally different ball game when you live full time together. like the movie PCU. You're right, Rob. I've healed most of my memories away, but I don't know who she is anymore. Do you want to know? That's the thing. When your ex goes haywire and they start doing things, if their actions and you finding out about their actions, whether that's through Facebook or Instagram or something like that, you see pictures, you hear stuff, you don't want to know. Get your earmuffs. Block all social. You don't want to know any of that stuff. I think Corey Wayne mentioned that someone can mask who they are for up to about 6 months. Rob Classic. Oh Jesus, it's going on a month for five for months for me. We had issues almost every 6 months though. Well, that's interesting. If you had issues every 6 months, that was the playbook of your relationship. People don't realize there's patterns. Human beings love patterns. They love patterns. I call them playbooks, but we love sequence habits. I wake up in the morning. I make my bed. I brush my teeth. I have a glass of water. I open all the windows in my house. This is my new habit and routine I've been doing for, I don't know, 3-4 months. My point is, why do we have school? Great example of habit and routine. You got to be at school at 8 a.m., and then you know what the first class is. You know when the announcement's being made with the national song, if they still do that. I don't know if they still do that in the States, where we grew up with Pledge Allegiance to the flag. Okay? It's the same thing in your relationship. The longer you're together, you guys start going, oh, it's that time of the month for her. She likes to just be left alone. Oh, it's that time of the month for her. She wants extra attention. Oh, she just got in a fight with her mom. She's going to want to talk about it but not want any kind of advice. There's all kinds of things that come up where you learn each other. I really don't see her. I meet up with her father to get my kids. That's a good move, Pioneer Caddy. I don't want to see her. I feel like she's the devil to me. That's a strong word. I hear like the best way to have it. So he thinks he cheated with the talk on Tinder girl. It sounds like it. Seems to me he has a warped sense of what cheating is. A lot of people might call this emotional cheating or online cheating, but I guess I'm old school in the sense that if it's not physical, I don't think it is. I think it's something you could work through. The fact that the girl contacted the other girl creates a lot more friction and embarrassment, but it could be worked through. Considering the fact that she's broken up already, in the future, we'll likely look at the approach as foolish. Yeah, bro, truthful is the right way. We understand that you don't want to hurt her again in the long run. You should read The Rational Male if you haven't already. A lot of behavioral things are discussed there that may shed some light on certain situational things you may have been through. Yeah, I would say that's a great book. Pioneer Caddy, I would say Rational Male would be a good read at this point. I don't know the specifics. I got to go back to your story if I pull it back up. He is prioritizing guilt in a way that isn't realistic. I've actually never heard a story where a guy disclosed that he pleasured himself. Well, he used a different word, but I used a different word. He's contradicting himself. Well, he needs to learn about how all these dynamics work. It's likely he had flawed outlook. Just fall back, bro. Linder Tube. Okay. The takeaway here is he's young and he has to improve if he acknowledges his errors and is open enough to move toward results. My relationships with YouTube playbook pattern is dropping in on these live streams. Good stuff, Mac, man. Right on, Linder Tube. Pioneer Caddy, I'm going to pull up. What's up, Jen? How you doing, hon? I'm going to pull up the Discord on my phone, actually, because I don't think this will. Let me see if I got Pioneer Caddy's story here, and we'll share it from the Discord. All right, Pioneer Caddy, I got it right here. So my story is I've been dealing with my wife for 10 years. 2 years out of that was marriage. We have 2 kids, boy and girl together, and a stepdaughter that I've been in her life since she was 2. Well, that's admirable. Good for you, man. So when you say you've been in her life since she was 2, she calls you dad. You've taken on that role, and I commend you for it. So just like your original story of a breakup, in September, she came to me and said she needs to talk to me, that she's been thinking about, she's been thinking about. So we are sitting there. She told me we can't be together anymore, that she don't think I can make her happy. She needs time and space, also that marriage is not for her. So this is a little bit of a strange one in the sense that at 10 years, you could say, we can't be together anymore, that I doesn't think you make her happy. Okay. She needs time and space. Okay. Marriage is not for her after 10 years. That's a little suspicious. Yes, I begged, pleaded, just sent me right to my worst nightmare. Listen, man, 10 years, you got 3 kids. You got some variables involved here, so give yourself a break. If you begged and pleaded, you overcompensated, it's not a situation where this is just puppy love. As our breakup continued, she was very disrespectful, staying out, lying, cheating, and also putting pressure on me, gaslighting, manipulating me while I was in the heartbreaking stages. It sounds to me, and I'm not going to assume this, and I don't want you to assume it, that she was probably already cheating. And she didn't want to admit that part. Because if she went instantly into staying out late, lying, and cheating, I think it was probably already there. It just hadn't broke the surface yet. I don't like to make assumptions like that. I started to do research on how I could fix myself, trying to find out where I did go wrong. I'm not sure you went wrong here. I think that she might have been seeing someone else. Especially because she made the comment, marriage isn't for me. That to me is a hidden statement of like, I want to see other people. I stumbled across that she started seeing someone else and she was so happy. I think she was seeing this person prior to, oh, okay, yeah, I know that. Okay. Lemren's honeymoon scene, she started going out with him and started taking my kids with them. I'm just saying, I think this had been going on prior to the breakup. With them behind my back, during the month of November, we agreed that she was going to move elsewhere while I remained in the house because I didn't have no place to go. She started looking for another place, which she didn't go in her favor. She went on vacation to Atlanta to handle business. When she came back, she found out that she was diagnosed with COVID and been around the kids. She called me and told me that I have to leave so her and the kids can quarantine. If I don't leave, she's going to have me removed. Well, this is a situation where I don't know if I'd believe her, but I think that you got to put the kids first, and really tough situation to be in. I told her it doesn't make any sense that you left me taking the kids to your mother's house and now you're coming back and kicking me out. Yeah, it's not. I agree with you. But what's the alternative? Are you going to go to court over this? Are you going to test that if she's positive on COVID? You're dealing with someone that's being highly selfish right now. So I put in my life in God's hands, went no contact for a month. I made sure they had plenty of food in the house. I passed by taking my son a gift for his birthday, made sure I take my kids their Christmas gifts, all of this during no contact. Well, I commend you for all that, man. I give you respect, and right now just put your kids first. I said that in the Discord. While reaching out to family, I stayed with my uncle, proceeded to normally work normally, and work on self-healing, moving on. I actually think you did the right thing by moving out of the house, even though she kind of pushed you out. I think for you to heal, you probably had to get out of that house. A lot of times, the house that you shared with a partner is a trigger for emotional feelings. How she went about it, dead wrong. How she went about it, dirty. How it worked out, and I like the fact that you said, instead of you going, I didn't have any place to go, you got resourceful, you talked to your uncle, and this is what family's for. And this is actually a better position for you to be in to heal. It's not fucking fair. And I'm not saying like, oh, you should have to move out because of no. But I'm saying instead of you making a big fuss out of this. You've been the adult in the situation. You've been the responsible parent in the situation. And you're like, I'm not going to cause drama over this. I'll go live at my uncle's. And like I said, it's a blessing in disguise because hopefully you get along with your uncle pretty well. But secondly, being out of the house that you broke up in helps your healing. Environment counts. A lot of times people are triggered by being in the bedroom they shared for 10 years together and now your partner's not with you. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but if you were in the same house, it would. On December 31, I've got my own place. She'd been staying with a guy for about 2 months now. This place, along with my kids, the house we got together is a storage unit. We'll say that she's paying for it. So is the house like a mortgage or is it a rental? I'm here moved on working on myself, self-healing, watching coaching videos for motivation. Found out the guy she'd been dealing with, her ex-boyfriend from over 10 years ago that was incarcerated. He said, hope my story meant she's not working on herself at all. She moved on, living a fantasy. And that's the end of what you wrote. Bottom line is, Pioneer Caddy, this shit's going to take some time. Number one, be the best dad you can be. Two wrongs don't make a right. So all these things that she's doing wrong, these selfish acts, if you can, be neutral. Do not stoop to her level. If this house is a house you bought together, then you have a right to sell the house and get proceeds from it. If it's a rental, then let her rent on. Stay with your uncle, see your kids as much as possible. Do your best to not have any information on this new guy that was incarcerated, that was her ex from a long time ago. And this is going to take you some time. And you begging and pleading in the beginning, no problem there. Just don't continue to do it. It sounds like you're moving in the right direction, and you're going to come out of this better and cleaner because you're dealing with it. You're not running from it. And you're not even, at a certain level, you're not even throwing the blame game too much. You're a bit in shock. This came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere. Shit's not fair. It's not okay. But you still got 3 kids that care about you. Sounds like you were in that stepdaughter's life for 10 years, so you still have an obligation there that you feel strong about. And you being a good dad is not affected by her. You put that first, and you'll have no regrets. Good. And that's a big deal, getting your own place. I've talked to people before, like, there's been clients of mine before that they share a house with their ex that's a wife. And they're like, yeah, you know what? I'll give her the house because of the kids. But, I still want to visit, and she can't have a boyfriend or anything. You just got to let it all go, man. You got to let it all go. I don't know if the house was a rental or the house was something that you guys bought together. But you getting your own place, big fucking step. What does it mean I'm in that broken heart syndrome? What does that mean to you? Can you clarify what you mean by that, Pioneer Caddy? KM always comes on and retracts all messages. My relationship with YouTube playbook pattern is dropping in all these live streams. That's the original name for the breakup. me ask you a few questions, Pioneer Caddy, since you're on deck. Do you like your job currently? Number 2, have you been getting regular exercise? Number 3, have you started dating at all yet, now that you got your own place? Or are you ready to date? Make her, KKM says, well, that's good. You're being independent and working around things with or without her. Make her miss you. If she does, you will know. I don't think you're working towards getting back with this one, Pioneer Caddy. That bus has already left the stop. That train's already sailed. Or that ship's already sailed. I don't think this is you're in the part where you're healing from this, but you're not trying to get back with her. I don't know if there's a point of return on this one. Someone starts seeing someone else and does this. Does anyone else, we got 12 on deck, 3 likes. Does anyone else have another topic they want me to touch on? 1 yes, 2 yes, 3 kinda. All right, so first and foremost, you like your job. That's big, bro. That's huge. It's huge. You don't have to tell me what you do, but you're proud and privileged of your job. You're able to get your own place. Huge. Huge. Huge thing, especially during COVID. Number 2, you exercise regularly. Highly underrated. I know people that go, I haven't exercised for 5 years. Ha, ha, ha. That's a problem. It's a problem for your health. More importantly, when your mental health, which involves being heartbroken, is affected, you need exercise. That's your biggest kryptonite for depression, sadness, anxiety. Bottom line. Are you dating? Kinda. Go on bad dates, which means you got a story to tell your friends. People, here's the problem. What happens when you start dating people after your ex? You compare them. It's uncomfortable. It's awkward. You haven't been in the dating game in a long time. So just plan on having some bad dates. You don't need to go all out. You don't need to date 15 people. Something comes up. Someone's interested in you. Go out with them. It's practice. I found out I was being mentally abused. Well, I would highly recommend the book No More Mr. Nice Guy by Robert Glover. If you feel like you had been mentally abused, I would highly recommend No More Mr. Nice Guy by Robert Glover, The Rational Male, and Models by Mark Manson. Those are 3 good books to start with. They're on audiobook also. Lots of people, COVID, are getting mental health problems. Don't bring it up. Don't bring up your ex-girlfriends. What does that mean? I was married for 19 years and my husband left me for another woman. I can completely understand what you're going through. It's painful. I know this sounds cliche, but this will get easier. Mac is right. Just be the best dad you can be and don't use the kids as a pawn. They will respect and love you for it in the long run. Good. Thanks, Jen. I think that's... And you know what? Easier said than done, Pioneer Caddy. Listen, I'm not saying this is easy. I'm just saying you're doing the right things right now. And sometimes my job is to reassure you when you're doing things right. And you may be thinking, like, where's the secret sauce? Sometimes not taking the shortcut is going to heal you up in the right way. What would be the shortcut? I don't know. Getting some kind of vengeance, finding a way to hurt her with some kind of gossip, being difficult about moving out of the house, telling all that, like talking shit about her behind her back about the incarceration of her new man, whatnot. Right? I don't know, trying to get her jealous with another woman. But if you heal right and take your time with it, totally different. You'll, in a year, I don't know, 10 months, year and a half, when you meet another woman that knocks your socks off or really meets and checks the boxes you're looking for, you'll be ready. If you take a shortcut right now and you go for vengeance, or you go out of character, or you stoop to her level, and it doesn't sound like you're like this, or you drown yourself in drugs and alcohol, or you just, right? You do all the things as a shortcut to get immediate short-term pleasure. then you're not going to heal the right way. But what you're doing right now, talking on a live stream, going to YouTube, talking to someone, like putting yourself out there a little bit, right? You're going to heal right. It's just going to take time, man. Like I said, exercise is a big one. Getting your own place is a big one. The amount of people, I mean, when I had my bad breakup years back, being in the same room that we shared for years was tough. It was hollow. So the fact that you got your own place, and you're even recognizing that too, I got my own place now. Big deal. Most of my family has passed on. I'm like a light switch. No, I'm good with any encounter with her. I have no intentions on getting even. Good for you, man. Brand new Skinner, Chicago's finest. A haircut? I don't know what that's in regards to. I'm actually working in Presbyterian Medical Center in Philadelphia, security officer, the biggest trauma center. Well, that's an admirable job, man. Philly, huh? I've had a few people from Philadelphia. I've been there once a long time ago. Long time ago, back in the day when Boys to Men was around. How old are you, Pioneer Caddy? That's what I think about Philadelphia, Boys to Men. Yeah, I was in Philadelphia years ago. It gets hot there in the summer, man. Security officer, the biggest trauma center. So you not only are a security officer that you're important to that place, but you also probably see a lot of people with serious trauma that you got to help walk through the door. Probably you got a lot of stories to tell, I would bet. Wow, isn't that a place to meet women? The biggest trauma center. Maybe you can meet a nice nurse. That'd be nice. What do you mean you're a light switch? Does that mean you're a tour seeing light? 32. C2FU? I don't know what that means. CTFU? What does that mean, Danny? Danny knows code.
No, I don't know this one.
CD. I'm 32. Well, there you go. It's a 32-year-old party. It's a great number in basketball, right? The great Magic Johnson. Shaq had it for a while. You saved a lot of people? Shit, man. Well, right there. That's the kind of shit that keeps you going. A lot of times when you're in a breakup, you're obsessed with your own results and what's happened wrong to you. And when you go out and help people, cracking the fuck up. I've never heard CTFU. I've never heard that before. Are you laughing about Boys to Men, showing you how old I am? That's what I think about Philadelphia, because when I visited Philadelphia, I think Boys to Men were like brand new. Boys to Men are so old. Do you even know who that is, Danny? Boys to Men?
No.
That's an R&B group, right? Yeah, that's R&B.
Boys to Men.
Yeah, they're a famous music group back in the day.
I knew Backstreet Boys and like NSYNC.
Yeah, Boys to Men are better, for sure. They were much bigger. Wife was 36. 32 is a great age to be at. If you read the Rational Male, Pioneer Caddy, they say that 32 is the pinnacle of a man's attraction. I thought CTFU was swearing. Well, you learn something new all the time with these kind of codes. I'm just honest. Like, if someone puts in a code, I don't try to play it off and go, oh, yeah, I know what that means. I'm like, what does that mean? Shit. You listen to Boys to Men during your breakup? That's funny. Jodeci was around that time, huh? Hang in there, man. Hang in there, bud. You know, it's a great breakup song is just like like if you're thinking about the words is God, I gotta look it up real quick. Hall and Oates, if you know Hall and Oates, right? Hall and Oates. She's gone. The words to that song, because he tells a story. Drew Hill? Oh, goodness. Drew Hill's. How about when Drew Hill did the song with DMX? Oh, man. DMX fell off a lot, huh? Hall & Oates. Maybe you don't like Hall & Oates, but She's Gone. That's a good break. That's a good message of a song. Isn't it so crazy when you're going through a breakup? And you're going through it right now. You're right in the trenches, my friend. But you're dealing with it. And then you'll hear like a breakup song that you haven't that meant nothing to you the last 5 or 6 years, and you haven't listened to it, and all of a sudden you're like feeling the hell out of that song. And years later you'll start laughing about it. I like Hall & Oates. I like Hall & Oates. I love their music, man. I was never a big Justin Timberlake fan, but he's got some good songs. It's kind of funny. There's people don't like to admit it, but like they'll not like music because they don't like the people. Like if you see the cover for Hall & Oates, it's pretty bizarre, but the music's good. Like that guy's a singer, man. He's a real singer, Daryl Hall. But She's Gone. So he's telling the story about being broken up, but I like a song that kind of has a story rather than like Rihanna with like work, and everyone's like, oh, this is a great song. It's like the whole song is work. Well, the important thing, Pioneer Caddy, is you're digging and you're not sitting. You're moving. So I commend you for that, man. I really do. And that's part of it. That's why you got to exercise. You got a job to go to. You got a new place. It's gonna move. The wheel's turning, my friend. You do have momentum, and I'm not saying that to be nice. Aaron Rodriguez, what's up? Is this Aaron that lives in Mexico, or no? I have one client that lives in Mexico City that owns a pizza place. He's on Instagram. Or he might not be a past client. He didn't do coaching, but he's on Instagram. He's got these beautiful pictures of good-looking pizza. And I said, damn, that looks good. He goes, I don't even like my pizza anymore. I had a teacher in high school that had us break down a Tupac song once a week. Well, that's a good way to get your attention. Have you ever seen the movie, I think it's called The Freedom Riders? I thought that was a good movie. I think it's a true story, Freedom Riders. Hilary Swank. I think I'm partial to it because I'm a teacher. I'm going to talk about it. Mac, what do you think about mac and cheese? Yeah, I'm hungry, but for cereal? For cereal? I don't know. That's bizarre. I don't eat mac and cheese anymore. I'm too healthy now. But I liked it as a kid. The movie was good, right, Skinner? It was good, man. That was a touching movie. I'm going to talk about it, I think, in another. So, brother, what's the advice on getting back with my wife? You want to get back with her? Good question. Okay, I'm with you. After reading your story, you need time in your own place, in your own space, to decide if that's even something you really want. You need time, Pioneer Caddy, because even if she came back to you right now, you can't trust her. I know you got a lot of ties with the kids, so you're in an interesting position because being a father and being someone that cares about your kids, there's a dynamic there that makes it different. What do you mean not really? Can you explain that? Brand New Skinner says, being from Chicago, that movie was very relatable. What do you mean I have moments? Okay, let's just go through something right now. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you want your ex-wife back? 10 being like I really want her back. On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your attraction to her right now? Thanks, Jen. On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your connection with her? On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your trust? I have too much empathy and sympathy for the pain that's coming to her. Oh, Aaron Rodriguez, you are in Mexico. I got a good memory. All right. I wish I could try that pizza, man. I wish I could try. You're in Mexico City, right? That's crazy, man. Someone from Mexico City on here. I have too much empathy and sympathy for the pain that's coming to her with everything. Well, keep showing up in your own life. Do your job. Get your exercise. Be open to dating new women. Or not. I would read those books, No More Mr. Nice Guy, Rational Male, in the meantime, to just give you some new perspective. It's the vows that get me. I think that was a mistype, maybe. I don't know what the vows mean. Oh, the vows. That you're married? Okay. Well, just think this. If you're going to get back together, it's not going to be anytime soon. And she's going to have to come to you. And you're going to be at your best when she does. And if she doesn't, you're going to keep riding. You're going to keep moving. But it's admirable that you're looking at it a different way. You're married 10 years and you had 3 kids, so it's not like you can just walk away. It's not the same thing. I get it. But you did the right thing moving out. You did the right thing. For better or worse is how you look at it, not her. That's the problem. So everyone looks at things from their eyes, their standpoint, their standards, their values, and then they go, why don't they look at them like I do? Different people, different experiences. Doing great. My business is doing great, going great. This has been the best therapy in learning piano. Oh, cool. You play piano? That's something I've always wanted to learn. People have told me I have piano fingers because I got long fingers. I don't think you need to do a lot of work on yourself. You sound like a pretty good person. I would just do a little homework on relationships, because if this comes back around, like I said, no more. Read that book, No More Mr. If this comes back around, you can't be the same guy that gets walked on. Does that make sense? And I'd highly recommend, if you want to unpack this further, to do a live coaching session. If you don't find it useful or helpful, I'll give you a refund, Pioneer Caddy. That's sincere. Yeah, it's way too early to work on anything to see nothing with her in the next 5-10 years. Didn't hear the story. Was she okay with him moving out? For Pioneer Caddy, if you want to, the story's on the Discord. I don't know if you're on my Discord, Skinner, but you should join it. It's in the notes usually. She kind of kicked him out, if that's the... All right, folks. No refund need. I just tell people that because I'm that confident that I can help you out, and if I don't do a good job in my live coaching, then I want to make it right. So I've never had to give anyone money back, but when someone's spending $125 for an hour, I over deliver. So I'm just saying, I don't know if someone else offers that. I'm not going to go, I'm the only coach that offers it. I don't know who else offers it, but I'm just saying, if you have 10 years, sometimes you need to throw all that shit up in one sitting. And it's highly therapeutic because your friends and family just get snippets. So I'm here for you if you want to do that. I love talking about the issues. Want to make a left. Have a good night. Well, it's rightmac.com if you want to go there. Browse coaches. You can book an appointment if you like, bud. Congratulations on the 76ers having a good year so far. Don't know about the Eagles. Phillies are the Phillies, right? Don't know if you're a sports fan. But I like the Sixers team. All right, folks. It's been good. It's been grand. It's been 1 hour and 27 seconds. Pioneer Caddy, I wish you all the best. Keep striving. Keep being you. It doesn't sound like you're the problem, so don't change. Maybe read that book, No More Mr. Nice Guy, and get back to me. See if that helps you out. And a lot of times people in a similar situation go, oh, shit, this guy's talking about me. It's a really good book for when you're going through a situation where you feel like you've been done wrong. All right, folks, it's curtains. Take it easy.